Most people know I'm not the hugest Tesla fan. That's because of their craftsmanship and assembly quality, at least for now. But I do recognize their engineering technology and innovation, and you can't argue with that. Today, we're looking at the engineering technology behind two luxury electric vehicles currently available on the market. The Tesla Model S Plaid versus the Porsche Taycan. So let's hop in and go for a ride. Did you know that until very recently, just several weeks, Tesla set a new world lap record for a production electric car at Nürburgring? And this was a brand new Model S Plaid, straight from the factory and unmodified. It finished the 12.9 mile lap in 7 minutes and 30.9 seconds. This broke the previous model held by the 2019 Porsche Taycan, and it beat its record by 12 seconds. So let's talk about the Model S Plaid. The Model S Plaid is the fastest production EV on the market today. It has a large 100 kilowatt-hour battery and new tri-motor drivetrain that powers all four wheels. It outputs 1,020 horsepower and has a top speed of 200 miles per hour and a range of 396 miles, while its drag coefficient is 0.208 CD. Tesla claims it can go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 1.99 seconds and can do a quarter mile from standstill in an incredible 9.23 seconds. So you can see the Plaid has an impressive acceleration and performance. But for all its power, its exterior is rather understated, minimal, and modest. The Plaid is never plain. It's not much different than the regular Model S, other than a wider body and a new bumper. Some feel its exterior lacks personality or that its personality doesn't match its performance. I think that many would agree that Tesla could have done a bit further in giving the most powerful of the Model S lineup some bold aerodynamic elements. Tesla is known for its minimalism. Think about the Model 3. Many expected the Model S Plaid to carry a similar interior. If you compare them, we can see some improvements. For example, the Plaid wins out over the Model 3, which is a 17-inch dashboard screen. But there's one thing that's been very controversial, and that's the steering yoke. Most people are familiar with a round steering wheel, but the Model S Plaid has a rectangular steering yoke. But is it really comfortable and safe? Does it improve driving? Even if you're not a pro in math, simple human logic tells us that a round steering wheel is much more practical and safer for daily driving. Imagine doing a U-turn and driving up a windy mountain road. With a round wheel, you can easily and quickly reposition your hands. But with a rectangular yoke, grabbing the steering wheel again when turning and cornering isn't as easy. Or let's say you hit a pothole and you momentarily lose grip on the steering wheel. With the normal steering wheel, you can easily grab it. But with the Plaid's truncated wheel, you literally might just grab air. But it's not just the shape. When we face sudden impending collision or danger while driving, a typical reaction is to slam on the brakes and hit the horn. It's just deeply ingrained on us. It's a knee-jerk reaction, almost involuntary. And where's the horn? With the traditional steering wheel, it's in the middle of the steering wheel. But in the Plaid, it's not in the middle, but it's a singular button you press. Will you knee-jerk react to that? What about signaling? We're all familiar with signaling before you turn. You just turn the signal blinker on or off by switching the left stalk on the steering wheel. But in the Plaid, there is no stalk. The turn signal is a touch-activated button. Well, it's certainly going to require a learning curve to get used to it. And there are reviews that some owners say they also needlessly activate the button by touch while driving or repositioning themselves. So yes, the Plaid steering yoke looks ultra cool, but in reality, it just doesn't seem safe or practical. So how is it legal? Believe it or not, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration doesn't test, approve, or deny designs like this. It turns out that it's up to each car maker to ensure that it meets safety standards and certified compliance before they release a car. So it's not illegal to have a rectangular steering yoke, but in my opinion, that doesn't mean having one is a good idea either. Let's talk about price. We're talking about a base price of about $130,000. And if you choose the most expensive configuration and add-ons, it'll come up to a bit over $150,000. That's not a cheap car. One of the few EVs that can compete with the Plaid's performance is the 750 horsepower Porsche Taycan Turbo S. Its starting price is over $186,000. That's a difference of over 50 grand. So Tesla has the advantage in performance and pricing. But let's talk a bit more about the Porsche Taycan. Did you know that Dr. Ferdinand Porsche and Nikola Tesla lived in the same generation? They both lived and did their research during the same time period. They also worked in relative proximity to one another, namely in Germany and Austria. Nikola Tesla is known for his work with semiconductors. These days, his name is associated with the famous electric car company Tesla. Here's a funny irony. Believe it or not, Ferdinand Porsche beat Tesla to the EV market by some 120 years. In fact, the first Porsche ever built was an electric car. That was in 1898, and it was a battery-powered smart car named the Porsche P1, so the EV competition started more than a century earlier than most people realize. But now let's talk about the latest Porsche Taycan 2021 and 2022 model. Did you know that the electric Porsche Taycan, including the new rugged Cross Turismo wagon, is now Porsche's third best-selling car in North America, after the Cayenne and the Macan? By the way, the Cayenne and Macan are set to soon have their own electric versions. Let's start with battery performance. Porsche says that they made updates to the batteries in the Porsche Taycan. The Taycan's 71 kilowatt hours and 83.7 kilowatt hour batteries can now withstand slightly higher temperatures than before, which should help them charge slightly faster. The Taycans both have an 800-volt architecture and can charge a maximum of 270 kilowatts. The EPA estimates that the 2021 Taycan Turbo S has a range of 200 miles with up to 227 miles for the Taycan Turbo 4S, thanks to the more powerful 93.4 kilowatt hour Performance Battery Plus. For the Taycan Turbo Cross Turismo, the range is estimated to be 204 miles. Because of its higher curb weight. The Taycan's 800-volt charger with up to 270 kilowatts can charge up to 80% within 20 minutes. Latest Porsche Taycan models are plug-in charge compatible, so no additional apps, key fobs, or maps are required to charge at Electrify America chargers and other supporting networks. More updates from Porsche include the new remote park assist option. This allows you to remotely park the vehicle from a smartphone without actually being inside the car. While it's not exactly like Tesla's enhanced Summon, it does offer the same convenience. You just press and hold a button on the app's interface, and you confirm you're watching as the car maneuvers into or out of a parking space. The 2022 Porsche Taycan is coming with new colors and new technologies. The Porsche exclusive manufacturer offers 65 additional colors. We're talking classics such as Acid Green, Ruby Star, and Riviera Blue. And if you're super particular and none of the standard color options meet your preference, then Porsche says it will paint the Taycan in about any color imaginable, from the color of your purse to a private jet even. The Porsche's interior has a more luxury and unique design than the Tesla. While Tesla has multiple flat square displays, the Porsche Taycan has a light, elegant, curved dashboard, including separate passenger-only display. It is visually pleasing and refined, complete with cushioned contours. You can sense this is where comfort meets technology. U.S. Porsche dealerships expect the 2022 Taycans to begin arriving by the end of the year. But let's shift our focus and talk a bit more about batteries. Both the Tesla Model S Plaid and the Porsche Taycan are helping to pave the way for EV technology and for other EV car companies. But while most people are talking about green transport, it's actually far from simple, and it's one of the limiting factors that is stalling advancements in electric cars. So the standard battery cell in use today is the 2170. Last year, in September 2020, Tesla announced a new type of battery cell called the 4680. The cell diameter was to be more than twice the diameter of the 2170 cell. This would give Tesla 16% more range with 6 times more power and 14% less cost per kilowatt hour. However, the new technology has been plagued with problems. This became immediately noticeable when Elon Musk abandoned the Tesla Model S Plaid Plus. The fact of the matter is that the Plaid Plus promised 520 miles of travel range and would have required the 4680 cell battery, which wasn't yet available. That's why the company changed its strategy and dropped the Plaid Plus. According to Tesla, the Model S Plaid was fast enough anyway. It now appears that the arrival of the Cybertruck and Semi also are being delayed until 2022 due to the same problem with the slow development and production of the 4680 cells. Overall, the 4680 cell type shows great promise, but it's also clear that this technology is not easy to make. If they're ever able to mass produce the new battery, it will be a huge milestone and step forward for the EV industry. But for now, it looks like it'll be at least 12 months later than was originally promised last year. Not to mention that in August of this year, there were new reports of delivery delays. So it looks like the Tesla Model Y vehicles from Tesla's Berlin and Texas plants will continue to use the 2170 cell type for now, even though everyone expected they would also migrate to the 4680 cell. As an industry as a whole, there are other issues that are affecting the production and sales of electric vehicles. EVs require the production of microcircuits and the associated mining of rare earth metal. That's why EVs will also suffer when it cannot meet the increased demand for batteries. In fact, right now, the lack of sufficient batteries is one of the biggest obstacles to the widespread adoption of EVs. Recently, it was announced that in the first half of this year, sales of EVs had increased by 168% compared to the first half of last year. That's a huge jump. Plus, sales projections for next year are estimated to be more than 20 million new units. So you can see that demand for batteries is only going up, and there's no way around it. This is why it'll be ever more important for Tesla to quickly address its bottleneck problem with the new 4680 cell battery. This new cell type has the potential to be the game changer for the industry. Additionally, more competition is heating up in this space, and that's a good thing. Some Chinese e-bus companies have already reached an incredibly low price of $100 per kilowatt hours. Also, companies including Volkswagen and Stellantis are starting to shift their focus to electric vehicles, working with local European battery suppliers. So Tesla is not the only company developing electric and battery technology. But now you tell me, which one do you prefer, the Tesla Model S Plaid or the Porsche Taycan, and why? Please leave your comments below and share your experiences, observations, and stories. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for your support.